All right. Welcome to our second episode of the uncharacteristic,
What?
unreliable, and uninteresting podcast.
Alrighty.
All right. No, seriously, what's the title? what's
It's
the
unplanned, unprepared, and unpredictable.
You know what? Every time we start a podcast, I'm going to try to think of three random un words.
Unwords.
Yeah, unreliable, unpredictable, uncaring.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Uh,
Hey man, so right before we pressed record, I know we made fake names for each other.
uh-huh.
And I was sure I was Tom, but you're saying I'm not.
I'm pretty sure you're Jerry.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I hate that name.
No, do you really?
I
Why would?
thought I like Tom, but okay, sure. All
Uh,
right, I'll be Jerry today. It's fine.
okay.
Anyways,
Alrighty.
how you doing, Tom?
I'm great, Jerry.
That's good.
How was your week?
Sorry, that sounds ridiculous. Those are two ridiculous names put together. But
But that's the charm, right? That's
is
part
it?
of it.
Is it? Is that
Yeah.
charming? I'm not sure if that's charming.
I'm pretty definitely sure it's
It's not the
charming.
word. That's not the right word. But so the last time we did this was 2 weeks ago. Last week I was out of town, and yeah, I haven't thought about it since.
Yeah.
So I did upload it into two different places. It should be in
Uh-huh.
just one place, but
Uh-huh.
I haven't really figured all. I haven't. All I did was upload it, and I haven't done anything to it. I will check it and make it more professional, at least a little bit.
Hey,
But
the
no.
logo is pretty nice, right?
Yeah. AI generated. Yeah.
AI generated, yeah.
So, if anybody ever
What a
sees the logo,
world.
it is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Why wouldn't people see the logo though?
I will send you the login information so you can also help me distribute because you have some podcast experience.
You do
So,
too.
oh yeah, but the only podcast experience what do you mean? Like when I created my
But,
own?
yeah. Didn't
So,
you?
it was for an organization and the audience was very specific. And
Mhm.
I didn't have to distribute it to all these different places. So I don't have any experience like posting it and
Mm,
uploading it to different places. And
yeah.
I used to use Anchor, and Anchor was very like easy.
Yeah, but so the thing you're using now is Anchor as well. It's just that it's been um purchased. I think Anchor has been acquired by Spotify.
Is the functionality different, or it
No,
just
it should be almost exactly the same, if not exactly the same.
okay? I don't know. I'll look at it. I just uploaded it, and I haven't looked at it since. But anyways,
Has
okay.
has there been any views or
I don't
listens?
know. I have no idea. Yeah, I
I
literally have
mean,
not looked at it.
we haven't marketed it at all.
That's
So I'd
right.
be very
That's right.
surprised if anyone's listening.
We gotta so I think to market it, because I don't want to market it to our friends, because that's kind of, well, one, I don't want anybody to know about it. But
Mm.
two, like, I think once we maybe clip it and upload it to places that it'll eventually hit somebody.
Oh yeah,
So
I
yeah,
think that's what we're waiting for. Yeah.
yeah. That is
So
to come soon.
yeah, exciting. I do have a topic. The so because the premise was going to be we're gonna bring a topic to discuss every week and
Sure. I
discuss it without really
So you didn't give me
thinking
any
or
heads up.
preparing about it. No,
Oh,
not at all. I actually I'm like there's a 50-50 chance that once I mention the topic
all right.
that you'll say let's stop recording and then you'll want to discuss it first.
No, 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 no. That goes against the spirit of the podcast. So,
Hey,
I'm
all
scared.
right.
I'm really
Okay.
scared. Okay. All right, go ahead.
So the topic is adult friendships and uh, I guess reconciliation. Do you have any experience with friendships that have gone sour? There's been some sort of falling out. And what are your takes on how, as adults, we can handle reconciliation?
Are you referring to something specific in my life?
I don't know. Do you want me to say?
Oh, I mean,
I
just
don't
say
want
yes
to.
or no.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay.
So, I mean,
Huh?
after last time we recorded, we had a pretty lengthy conversation about it. I thought it was interesting. Well, the thing that we didn't talk about was the reconciliation part. but it got me thinking, as adults, like how possible is that? Is it possible? Because
Uh-huh.
as teenagers or as students, it's I feel much easier, especially because people that you're friends with, even if you have a falling out, there are circumstances in which you kind of end up having to be in the same space. And that just gives a lot of room, and yeah, it just creates the environment for possible reconciliation, right? But as adults, if something happens to a friendship, then you literally don't have to ever see that person ever again, you know?
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Don't forget what you said right before.
what did I say?
This
What did I say?
you said no. This is the spirit of this podcast. You're gonna talk about
No,
it.
no, I will talk about it, but this is not the vibe at all. Like this, why would you bring this here today?
'Cause it's great because you got to think on your feet. It might be beneficial for you in your life,
All right,
and
all
it's
right, all
also
right.
something that you know extremely puts you on the spot, right?
No, I don't really. Anyway, okay, you know what? Okay, so that's your topic. Here's my suggestion.
Uh
I just Googled random topic generator on
huh.
Reddit.
Uh-huh.
I'm on Reddit now. Reddit. Okay.
Okay.
You ever
All
heard
right.
of the Belt River?
No.
Okay, so it's Wiki Roulette. Apparently, it's like a random topic generator.
Huh?
It's a river.
Okay.
Um, in Mongolia.
So you want to talk about a river
All right, so that's not a good first try
without
here.
having? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Wellsboro. That seems like a really something happened there, didn't it? That I should be aware of.
I have no idea. If
Wellsboro.
no, no. I think the topics can't be so specific,
No, I agree.
right?
Wiki
Because
Roulette is not a good website to do this. Here, give me a
no,
second.
no,
Let's try
no, we
another one.
can't
All
do
right.
that. Yeah, we got to
Let's
talk
see.
about kind of general abstract things that we can ruminate on and we can
You know
logically
what?
speak on, right?
Pick a number 1 through 10.
Goodness. Wait, hold on. So let's settle this. So we're not talking about the
No, we
friendship
might,
thing.
but let's see where this goes real quick. One through ten.
Uh,
Pick a number 1 through 10.
7.
7. So random topic generator on Google, page 7. Whoever goes to page 7 of Google, right?
Hmm.
Pick like 1 through 10 again.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Google Play Store. Okay, I'm not gonna click that. Okay, right before Google Play Store is Vondy, Vondy. Random idea generator. Here we go. Yeah, okay, I clicked it. Well, this is like the dark web. No one's ever been on page 7 of Google, right? I'm actually kind of more nervous about this. Random idea generator. Let's see. Press run. Let's see what happens. It's not doing anything. Okay, okay. Oh my gosh. Random idea business. Oh, it's a random business. Okay. Food truck delivery service.
Okay. Are you delivering food trucks
I don't know. Hold on.
or
Description.
are you delivering the food via
Okay.
food truck?
Food truck delivery system. A food truck delivery service that brings delicious and freshly made food directly to customers' doorsteps. This service would
Hmm.
provide a convenient and hassle-free way to people. Oh, so it's like a food truck that actually trucks.
That's like the worst idea I've
Why?
ever heard in my life. Because if the whole point of having a restaurant is so that you can bring people to you, right?
Yeah.
Think
Sure.
about all the miles driven. Like just think about like DoorDash, right? It's already a difficult job because the gas that you have to pay, the wear and tear you have to pay. But if you're literally moving your entire restaurant to the person every time they want to eat something,
Okay, okay,
and
okay. So I think the more I'm reading it, a food truck delivery service would partner with various trucks in the area. So, so it's DoorDash for only food trucks. We could talk about that.
okay,
uh,
I think we'll talk about it for 3 minutes and then we'll run out of things to say about it.
do you think it's a good
But we can
idea?
try it on for science. We can try it on for science.
All right,
No,
all
I
right.
think it's a terrible idea.
I actually think. Hey, it's random. All right, all right, all right. We'll try it one more time.
No,
See,
no, let's talk about it.
I
Do
already
you think it's
pressed.
a good?
Oh wait, this is a long wait. I pressed it one more time. Random business idea. There's problem it solves, solution, target market, revenue streams, marketing strategy. What the heck? What is this? Where am I?
What? Why are you doing a
Huh?
random business
Okay, that's the
generator?
topic. I could change the topics, but wait,
Let's
this is
change the topic.
so okay. Name a topic then. Wait, I kind of want to read this later. Anyway, you know what?
Hold on, but I did bring up a topic.
All right, you're right. You're right. All right, go ahead. Okay. Basically, your question is how do we make up with friends we have falling outs with?
Yeah,
And it's harder because when you're growing up, you literally don't have to see anybody.
yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. So do you have any personal experience? I actually don't have many experience with like falling
Oh,
out.
for real?
Yeah,
am,
I don't.
am
Yeah,
I a walking red flag? Like I actually have so many.
I think so.
I have an
It's
uncountable number of falling outs.
yeah.
Wait, I
What
don't.
is wrong with you? Why do you have that?
Oh, okay. Wait. This is turning into something weird all of a sudden. But
This is great. Give us some examples of like reasons you've had falling outs with people.
hmm. Oh my gosh, where should I start? Okay. I think my oldest falling out. Oh, okay. I had a friend. He was an Indian friend. He was my neighbor right
Mhm.
across the street. Like I could literally see his house from my house. He moved away, and we didn't. I mean, this was so I'm. Should I give out my age? Oh, we're millennials, right? So millennials, we grew up what in like the 90s, you know?
Sure.
The 90s was a very different time.
Yeah.
Cell phones were not a thing, like emails were barely a thing. I don't know. There weren't a lot of ways to keep in touch, or your parents would have to do it for you, and you would have to like as a kid, you don't really think about that stuff. So we moved away, and I don't know if this is normal, but I guess I wasn't very aware at the time. Like I don't have a lot of memories before like third or fourth grade, to be honest. Like I remember my second grade school teacher, some friends, but I don't have like a lot of vivid memories before like the third grade.
That's
A
that
li-
in and of itself is pretty
That's a little
interesting.
old. I don't think I'm a dumb guy, but I don't know. I really like don't have a whoa.
Maybe something traumatic
I
happened
had a
in your
big
life.
life change. Second grade we moved. So my family used
Mm.
to live in an apartment in kind of a ghetto area, and then we moved to a house like very far away, and that happened in second grade. So maybe that disconnect really affected my memory.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
okay, so what's really crazy about that too, that Indian friend, he one day came back to our house, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I moved back." And I was like, "Okay." And I shut the door. We actually went
Wow.
to high school together. I think we went to middle school and high school together, and we never
Wow.
really spoke cuz I don't know. I mean like I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
I
Well, I okay, so
yeah.
this is interesting that you bring this example up because it doesn't quite meet the parameters of the topic in two ways.
Oh, because we had to fight?
First,
Okay.
no, yeah. First is because, well, I said adult relationships. This is clearly while
Oh,
you were a student.
I didn't hear. Well, you said like where does this come from? Anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah, and then
We're trying to find the
also
root
it
of the
doesn't sound
problem.
like sure, but it doesn't sound like you had a falling out. It just sounds like you drifted apart. I have plenty of those too.
Oh, I see.
We, yeah.
No, but isn't that a weird? I mean, I was a young kid, and
The
I think that's
the
why
shutting the door in his face.
I
Yeah, not the
don't
best look.
don't we shut all doors in people's faces? Like, don't all
Oh,
doors? Do we wait to not see
I,
the person anymore and shut it?
I've literally I don't think I've ever closed the door on somebody's face.
Like you mean because they're turned away from the door?
Yeah, because they're walking away because we've amicably split.
Well, I think he
Oh,
said
you're leaving.
bye.
Bye.
I was like, oh, hey, oh, cool.
Huh?
And okay. So when I got older, I relived that moment in my head. I still do, and I wonder if he was like, "Man, uh, am I Tom or Jerry? Jerry's gonna be so excited to see me. We used to be like best friends. Our families used to be like best friends. He used to come over and sleep over. I used to sleep over at his house. Probably, I don't really remember. And then I'm sure like the reaction I gave him was shocking.
No, I'm yes, that's 100% the case. That's why he ignored you in middle school and high
We didn't
school,
ignore
right?
each other. We just really didn't have classes together. Like he had his own friends. He actually, I from what I remember, he became kind of a pothead, like kind of a preppy pothead. So
Hmm,
well, I didn't have any friends, so I didn't have any circles, and he had friends, so that's probably the difference.
interesting. Yeah, no, I think there's something there about it says a lot about who you are as a person.
It could just be,
I,
yeah, an awkward. I'm an awkward guy. I was,
yeah,
and it doesn't have to be deeper than that. But okay,
but
so uh-huh.
I think the interesting thing there that we can kind of think about and discuss is what do you do when you have those awkward friendships?
What do you mean awkward?
Like, so there are several people that, like, if I were to see them at a mall or like just walking around somewhere,
Ah, uh-huh.
that I don't know if I would say hi to them or not. And the reason is because I kind of know of them or kind of knew
Ah,
them at one point, but we haven't spoken in years. And so it kind of drifted apart. So kind of the situation you had with your Indian friend in high school.
uh-huh.
Like I have plenty of those, but what would you have appreciated him like approaching you again and like starting up conversation, or were you perfectly okay with just kind of ignoring each other's existence?
Well, okay, so say I saw him now, I think I would be like, "Hey, I don't know what." I I can't really express or explain why I did that. I do
Mm,
regret it. I regret it, and your friendship did mean a lot to me back then. Now we're like
mm,
complete strangers. But I think if I did see that person and he or I like made eye contact,
mm,
um, if it's if yeah, if you make eye contact, right? If you notice each other, yeah, I would definitely say something like, "Oh, hey," wave my hand, and yeah, and then probably apologize first. But do I want to still be that person's friend? I don't know. I mean, like, I don't mind being people's friends,
mm.
but we're it wouldn't be like, oh, we're sort of rekindling old friendship. It's sort of like, oh, we're strangers and we have to start being like new friends all over again, just because
Mm.
I'm sure we're like extremely different people from what we remember.
Yeah, so I think that your example is kind of one side of the spectrum on one extreme side because it's yeah, I agree. You guys are strangers. If you wanted to, I guess you could pursue a new relationship. But let's kind of dial or slide the spectrum to
Uh-huh.
the other end. Let's say that you had, as an adult, yeah, you had like friends, right? Really close friends,
Yeah.
possibly some of your closest friends, right? And then something happens
Okay, so
that
so the way that I want to approach topics and discussions, we have to start defining
uh,
stuff. Like
sure.
one, how do you define someone as a close friend?
Mm. Let's say that you maybe the parameter can be regular contact
Uh-huh.
for an extended period of time. So
I
let's
see.
say
Yeah.
maybe you've at least talked to this person once a week,
Oh,
even if it's just like like just a quick like hi or something like that for a period of I don't know 2 years.
maybe see that I think makes it too specific because 52 times a year, that seems like a lot. Like once a week,
Once a month. How about once a month?
once a month is easy. Um, for how many months?
How about this? How about this?
That's too
Um,
easy, maybe.
how about interaction that is at least 2 hours in duration, um, once a month for 2 years?
2 hours once a month for 2 years? That's a lot.
Not really.
What if you so see you're looking for like uh
This is a close friend.
regularity, but
Yeah.
what about quantity? Maybe you spent like 30 hours in 1 month with a person, you know?
Mm,
That seems pretty close.
yeah, that's true.
So let's say in a year you spent more than 30 hours with that person. That seems so what did you say, couple hours a month? That's like 24 hours. Let's say just in a year you spent 20 to 30 hours with somebody. I think that's
Okay.
pretty close, right?
Yeah, that it could be, but it's just it. You're not taking it
Well,
into
see,
account like
well, so
coworkers,
yeah,
right?
you're thinking about like yeah, coworkers or people you see on weekends, like churches and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that it can't be a setting
How,
where like that. It
how
can't be those
about
kind of settings.
yeah? How about like specifically social settings outside of anything that's organized, like work or church or whatever?
Actually, then I don't.
Just
Uh,
in a intentional social
as
setting.
an adult,
Yeah, 30 hours in a year. That's not too difficult, right?
like over the age of 18, and
Yes.
then not girls we've dated. Okay.
Or well, you can include exes.
Well, okay. So, I have a lot of um relationships through like like organizational settings. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
But that's because I most of my free time outside of my full-time job is in those kind of settings. Yeah.
but
Uh-huh.
even with those people, aren't there some people that
Yeah,
you
yeah. So
probably
so from
spend?
that group of people, it has to be a more intimate than like the
Yes.
casual. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. All right.
So having defined that as a close friend,
Uh-huh.
have you had any relapse? Not relapse, but any regression in relationship
Like
with any of them?
but like not just drifting apart, but because of like something happened.
We can talk about both.
I
I think it'd be
actually
interesting to talk about both.
so people I drift apart from, I think that just happens when you're not naturally spending a lot of time with them. Like you are, and then for a reason, and then circumstances change, and you just spend less time with that person, and then you drift apart.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, somebody who you naturally drift away from, is that something worth fighting against? That whole natural drift? Or is it what it is? As adults, is that something inevitable that we just have to deal with? Or should we be doing more to combat that and try to hold on to relationships?
None. This is not a funny conversation.
It's not meant to be funny. It's
Oh,
meant to
okay,
be
okay.
thought provoking.
All
It's
right.
meant to be. I think it'd be really funny if during this conversation you slip and you give too much information.
No, 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 no,
I
no.
think that would be
Okay.
prime podcast
So, you know what?
material.
I've gone back and forth on like should I be trying a lot even if that person doesn't try very hard, or should I just not try at all because that person isn't trying very much either?
Mm.
And hmm, I'm gonna land somewhere closer to you have to be reciprocated a little bit. Like it doesn't have to be
Mm.
equal in like the number of attempts or the quality of attempts, but like if I'm reaching out to you a couple times a year, you got to reach out to me at least once every couple years. Something even if it's like that different, you know.
All right.
If it's not being reciprocated at all, I think it's understandable. Like people are busy, and especially as adults, you live life and you just don't pay attention because you're so busy. Especially like if you have something regular on weekends and you have a full time job, like your whole week is just this routine of seeing the same people, same routine, and you can forget. So I understand if say like I had a friend who didn't reach out to me for a year or two, um, maybe right. I understand that can happen even though you care about a person. But I think if it's not being reciprocated at all, like returned at all, then you probably shouldn't worry about it too much. That's where I am right now, I think.
Well, can you put any parameters around that?
Um, what you mean? Like
What
which part?
is so for how long? What is the duration in which you should endure no reciprocation?
Oh, I
No
mean like a year or
reciprocation.
two. I think it's like a year maybe is too short. but
Mm,
more than 2 years seems like a lot to me.
mm.
Like,
So
so the older I get nowadays, a year doesn't feel very long. Like it's already
yeah,
2024, but we're more than halfway through. And
yeah.
easily, I could have not reached out to someone I really care about once this year so far.
Mm,
So maybe a year or two, but over like a couple years, I don't know, 2 or 3. That's like you're really not. I mean, there's no way that anybody who is so busy, you don't stop a couple times a year, at least. I mean, it's possible. Like I hate
mm,
saying it like that because there are many people who brains are different and they think differently. But for me, if I haven't reached out to you in 2 or 3 years, we probably aren't friends anymore.
right,
Yeah.
right. Have you had situations like that
Of
where
course. Yeah.
oh, so
Yeah.
like where you're the one who's reaching out,
A
but
lot. But you know what's weird about that? Well, so I actually recently watched How I Met Your Mother, and Ted Mosby had what's that weird friend's name? Oh no,
weird,
the guy who he calls and like
punchy,
punchy.
punchy, yeah.
Yeah, and like when you get together with that person, it's like, oh, it feels like we haven't been apart at all. I bet
Mm,
you with the specific friend that I'm thinking about, if we met up, it'd be like, oh man, it's just like before, nothing's changed. It seems like we're really close. But
mm,
this person, I probably will go 2 to 3 years without reaching out to them, just because. I mean, I don't know. There's just not that there's no reason to, but yeah, not like something that makes me do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, without regular contact,
yeah.
hard to. I mean, kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what your question was. What was your question? Do I
No,
have
no, yeah,
somebody like that?
yeah, yeah. Do you have somebody
Oh,
that?
yeah, 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 yeah. So like if we saw each other, I think it would be like really cool and really fun and really nice.
Mm.
And like the intimacy would be there. I think it wouldn't be like super awkward. But no, I actually haven't talked to this person at least in a year and a half, or maybe
So,
more.
is this a person that you kind of regularly reach out to, but they never reciprocate?
I used to a lot more, yes. But
Mm.
um
So it's kind
yeah.
of a no hard feelings kind of deal for you, right? Because you could easily be a little resentful of a friend who you feel like you're being more intentional towards, but they're
Uh-huh.
not reciprocating.
I think I would have been like 5, 10 years ago. Yeah, I would have been way more like hurt by it. But I've come to sort of like the resolution. Oh, it just happens. They got family stuff, they got work stuff, they got other stuff that they're into and busy with.
Mm.
It's not like they ever treated me wrong or bad in any way. But yeah, we just ain't that close right now. I mean, we're separated by states. It's not like we live anywhere nearby each other or ever interact with have to. There's no reason for us to ever run into each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this is good
yeah,
insight,
I don't feel too bad about
because
it.
yeah, if you have as adults, even if you are the you are the party that reaches out often, and that's not reciprocated, then yeah, to know that you don't necessarily have to take it in a negative way. You don't have to cut them out, or you don't have to resent them. I
Yeah,
think that's really good advice, and I think our ego gets in the way a lot of times where we're kind of like, well, they don't talk to me, so screw them. I'm not going to talk to them even if they reach out to me, which I think that seems very unfortunate. Like you said, if when you do get together with those friends, it kind of does go back to the way things were, kind of. And so to throw away entire relationships because you guys go your own path, life kind of gets. Uh, you guys are in kind of different life stages and all that. Yeah, I think it is unfortunate to
yeah.
throw
But
relationships into the
so
trash.
it's not an. I mean, it is pretty like concluded. But if I ever had to, like, say for some reason in the future, we had to regularly see each other, I think that'd be really fun, really nice. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm bitter towards that person in any way. But like, what reason is there to reach out to someone regularly? Like birthdays, maybe, but that's still so. Like, if I say happy birthday to you every year for like 2, 3 years in a row, and you forget mine every year, that hurts actually. That is very
Mm,
at least
interesting.
it's upsetting to me.
Yeah.
I
I think
mean
that
like
says
yeah.
more about you than general populace.
Oh, about
I feel
birthdays?
like you have a weird thing about birthday.
No,
From
no. So
what I
no,
know of you,
maybe, but like,
huh?
what other reason is there to at least reach out to somebody once a year? You know,
Updating life events.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do. Well, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
but
have
yeah.
a group chat with a couple of like high school friends, like really close friends.
Uh huh.
And yeah, these days it's mostly just, I mean, and us too, we're separated by states and things like that.
Uh
But
huh.
it's most lively when we're updating each other. Um, it's
Of
like,
new
oh,
life
I'm getting
events.
married, or
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna have a kid. I'm gonna
Yeah.
changing my job, stuff like that. So I do think there are reasons to talk to people you don't regularly see, even outside of birthdays. But
Well, yeah.
it so for me, it would be hurtful if I'm updating my friends on everything that's going on in my life, and later on I find out my friend got married and had two kids and never updated me on the going ons of those things. So I do think there is a yeah, it does hurt when you you're not being reciprocated in terms of the amount of effort that you put into the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, then, but the more interesting thing I actually want to talk about is, do you have any friends that fall into that close category that something happened, right? You had a falling out, or you had a disagreement, or something, right? And that is the cause of kind of the breakdown of the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so how what would happen there then if you guys were forced into a like
What did we just talk
regular?
about? What was the conclusion or summary? Like, what?
I don't think we. The summary is um there are friends that you just naturally drift away from. It doesn't mean anything malicious. It doesn't mean even if the the effort in the relationship isn't completely reciprocated, it's not necessarily a deal breaker in terms of how you would react if you were to see them again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And don't take it too hard because people are just different.
Yeah.
Sure. But now we're talking about people we fell out with. You know what? As a man, I'm gonna put that out there. I am a man. I've had
Really?
falling outs with men and women, but with women, it's
Oh,
more
that's
complicated.
interesting. Wait, with women, were those like romantic relationships or just friendships?
Well, both. I've had fallings outs of with both.
That's interesting. Well, what were the circumstances of the non-romantic?
Huh?
What were the falling out? Like, be as vague as you need to be,
Uh
but what
huh.
type of falling outs do you have with females that were not romantic?
Misunderstandings of intentions. Mostly, no, but I feel like that's
Interesting.
the way that men
Uh-huh.
and women all fall out. Like one of you catch feelings and or did something kind of silly,
Uh-huh.
maybe broke a boundary, and you're like, oh, either we can deal with it or we
Oh.
can't deal with it. You didn't understand what I was trying to say?
No, I got you now.
Oh,
I
I see, I
got you
see,
now.
I see. But you
Well,
know
but
what?
that does fall into the category of romantic then. No?
I said romantic. Well, kind of, but you are friends. It wasn't like if you're dating and you break up, obviously, right? If you don't end up
Yeah.
married, you're gonna break up. But friends who anyway, yeah, but like
Ugh.
relationship
Any
uh
chance of reconciling those relationships?
I would say those are way more challenging.
You should try.
Excuse me.
Can we get those people on the podcast and I'll mediate between you and them. That would be
Huh?
good content, right?
No. No. What are you talking about right now? Hey man, what are you talking about right now?
I'm talking about producing good
Hey,
content for the podcast, bro.
okay. It's more complicated with ladies, I would say.
Mm,
Between
mm,
opposite genders,
mm.
yes, way more complicated. Because then there are, other significant others, other future, like it's crazy. but it adds too many layers of yeah, it gets way like more crazy and complex. So is it
Yeah.
possible? I don't know. Can it be done? Probably. Should it be done? I don't know that either, actually.
I think it depends on the significance of the misunderstanding or maybe the
Uh,
breaking of the boundary.
sh- like friends with bennies?
No,
Uh-huh.
no, like if if the boundary that was broken,
Uh-huh.
it depends what kind of boundaries those were,
Well,
right?
what if okay, so see also in my opinion, it's different when a guy breaks a boundary versus a girl breaks a boundary. I don't think if a guy breaks a boundary as a lady, you probably shouldn't, yeah, that's more serious because you're a
Uh-huh.
lady. And then if a girl breaks a boundary, then it's like, oh, we can it's not a big deal. We can just oh, in my opinion, as a man,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't think
Very
it's that
interesting.
big of a deal. But if a guy breaks a boundary with you, you should be way more cautious because that's like, yeah, it's different, no?
I actually had a long time ago, I had a conversation with somebody and it was a girl
Mm-hmm.
and she was saying that she had a friend who like a male friend who tried to like initiate like physical intimacy
Like
and
how?
she had I I think it was just like going in for a kiss and trying to like, you know, like
Oh, well, that's like a common one. Sure, okay.
no, but it wasn't just a kiss.
Oh,
It, it was beyond the intentions were clearly beyond. It wasn't just I kiss you and back off. It was
it was aggressive?
not super aggressive because she was able to
Okay.
kind of talk him
Uh-huh.
away and he did stop. But she was so cool about it. Like, okay, like that was a mistake. And I think they just kept being friends. Right. So
What?
I yeah. So
Maybe she's
that
weird. Okay.
well, I don't know. Like it seemed to work out there, right?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, this is just my perspective as a non-female,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think. Let me put myself in a woman's shoes right now.
So I know, but that does seem more egregious than if it was the girl who was trying to do that to the guy. Is that what you're saying?
In my opinion, yeah, it is way weirder. Yeah.
Because typically men have the ability to be more physical and overpower.
I mean,
Is
that's
that
that's
why?
part of it. Yeah, but part of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
But
Interesting. That's interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like if a guy is not interested in a girl, like, there's no threat for sure, right? But if a guy,
Mm,
yeah, but if a guy is interested in a girl, it
what if
can be a little threatening.
what if it's like a bodybuilder and the guy's like the woman's like a bodybuilder and the guy's like a scrawny dude?
Um, I mean, that's kind of cool. Maybe he likes to get beat up. I don't know. But like, I actually know someone who low key stalks somebody, like look through windows, kind of stalking. And
What?
even though the guy is very not threatening, different, right? Oh, they're not
So it was
friends. They can't be friends, but
the guy did that to the girl?
yes, yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Do
And
I know this
it's
person?
no, nope,
Okay.
nope. But I mean, I'm sure it happens a lot. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
guys
no,
just
yeah.
take. I mean, I'm sure girls take it too far, but there is it's more serious when a guy does it.
You know what's a little bit interesting about this whole thing though is there is a somewhat of a cultural standard of the pursuit, right? In terms of a romantic relationship.
Uh,
Culturally, it's more acceptable or it's more expected for the men to be a
chasers.
little bit yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
sure.
sometimes it's just the pursuit that the guy takes too far without realizing. It like crosses the line without realizing it.
Oh, you
So
know what? Okay, in my head, if a guy, well, so all right, just like straight up, if a guy tries a couple times, like over and over again, and even in dramas, and you see like movies and whatever, It's kind of cute, and like the girl eventually she's like, oh, like he's actually kind. I never looked at him that way, but maybe my opinions have changed. He's actually cuter than I thought, and all of these like gestures are very like romantic and appealing.
Yeah.
But I did talk to a girl once, and she was like, no, if I say no once or twice, just like get away from me.
Mm.
So I don't know if that was more specific to this person, but I don't know. Isn't it like I don't know. I don't know. I also in my head like when a guy try so like girls also there are girls who sort of like want was I think it's yes and no. Some girls are like this, some girls are not like this, but some girls want the guy to try a little harder to win their
Yeah.
affection. So how do you I forgot what we're really talking about, but how so men are expected to chase and try, I guess, but some girls will
So
hate
it
it. So what are we supposed to do?
exactly.
Yeah.
We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I mean, I
There is
guess
no you just have to really be good at
intuition.
kind of intuition and taking like grasp of the situation and kind of the atmosphere, right? Because somebody really the only difference between somebody who is too aggressive versus somebody who's just trying to win the favor of a maiden is the opinion of the girl, right? What the girl thinks about the guy. If the girl thinks the guy is really charming and good looking, then the harder he tries, the more flattering it is. But if the girl thinks the guy is ugly and completely undesirable, then every exertion of effort for gaining that girl or gaining that girl's favor is seen as creepy and, you know, yeah, negative. So there's really no like you just have to know what the girl wants without the girl really telling you what they want in order to apply the proper level of effort in that relationship. Or
So,
I guess the relationship chasing.
well, when you're a young guy and you have very little experience, you're kind of dumb. Like,
Uh,
oh yeah, she hasn't texted me in 2 days, or she only texts me every 2 days. Maybe she just is busy. you know? Like I think when a girl likes you, well, if a nice girl likes you, it should be obvious. But then I do think there are girls who are very like um psychos. Like they just keep a bunch of guys on a shelf, like the attention from multiple guys, but don't have any serious interest with any of them. I think there are definitely people, both sides, both genders, who are like that.
huh.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
are,
Hey, that's the
but
episode in How I Met Your Mother too.
which one?
The kind of keeping your backup around.
I think yeah, but
Yeah.
if it's a nice person, if you're going after like a decent human being, it should be real easy. But if you're chasing the wrong person, it's difficult either way. Like either they don't like you and that's difficult, or they're just like not a nice lady or a nice guy and they make it difficult. So if it's too difficult, you probably should not try too hard. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
should be simple and easy. Not in the way of like the girl is easy, but yeah, I don't know.
Right. If
I
you
haven't
if you're
really.
feeling too much resistance, then yeah, I see. I know what you mean.
Yeah, either way it's bad, right?
Yeah.
There's no good that comes out of if there's a lot of resistance when you're pursuing a girl.
Yeah. Hey, can we get a time check real quick?
Oh yeah. We're at 44 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So then let's. I actually want to
Go back.
No, no. Yeah. Yes. Go back to really my main question. Right.
Okay.
So the friends. Do you have friends that you've had a falling out with? Yes. Right. I think you
Yes,
already
male
said.
friends. Well, so
Yeah.
we went on this path because I think it's a little different if it's with girls, but yes, guy friends, I've had a handful of people I've fell out with, yes.
Hmm. So what were some of the circumstances of that?
Maybe it's like an inevitable thing. When you're close with someone,
Huh.
Like
Interesting.
when you're dating someone, right? When you're dating someone, the first, I would say, year or year and a half, you're spending every day together, but it's pretty easy. But then at
Mm,
some point, if it gets hard, you're probably with the wrong person because your incompatibilities are showing. Your guard is down. Like you're seeing the person, the more real version of that person as time passes by.
mm,
And for me, I would say at least the fallout that is at the forefront of my mind
mhm.
is because of incompatibility. Like I think we
Interesting.
both saw that we don't really like certain aspects of each other, and then it led to arguments, and then it's like, oh, I don't have to see you anymore. Maybe it's just better we don't. It's like a good. So once you stop having to see each other regularly, it's sort of like like I have other friends I'm more compatible with anyway.
That's very interesting because how do you suss out what level of incompatibility is worthy of throwing relationships away, right? Because no two people are completely compatible, right? And also, let's be real, me and you, if we were to be really honest about our compatibility levels, I guess, can you actually define what compatibility is for you?
Mm, Comparing you with the friend that I fell out
Uh-huh.
with, I would say there's nothing I see where it's um, like I couldn't get over it. Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't get over the incompatibility?
Yeah, yeah. If it's like you notice it and you're like, oh, this person's this way. If it's like a big deal, then I think it's not reconcilable. Because maybe well, if it's like a core characteristic or like a personality trait, it's like something they would have to completely change about themselves, and you just can't get over it. That is a irreconcilable incompatibility, I would say.
Mm.
And I don't have well, yeah, I don't know how you feel about me, but I don't feel that way about you about anything. I
Well,
I think.
I guess I'm confused about what compatibility means, right? Because sometimes we have very different ideology,
Oh,
different worldviews.
oh, listen. Okay, so I actually don't think that kind of ideological incompatibilities or differences. I don't
Mhm.
think that's whatever. I mean, we're not gonna marry each other. I guess that's more important if you're gonna marry someone. But if two friends who believe and think differently, they can't be friends. That's kind of, I don't know. That's weird to me. But if you're able to communicate with someone and you have like similar integrity, um, yeah, I think that,
So
yeah.
then, what exactly was the compatibility issue with the friend you're thinking about that
Uh,
you had a falling out with?
mm, to like probably oversimplify, and this is just from my perspective, I'm not a big fan of gossip. I
Mm,
just like that. I can't. I just yeah, I can't stand it. And like yeah, and like there are healthy levels of talking about somebody, but I also don't like inconsistency. Like you're talking bad about someone, but then to their face, you're like best friends.
mm,
Like I don't know, maybe this person straight up to their face was like, hey, you suck at all these things, and I like you talk about them behind their back about how they suck at something, and maybe to their face they also say it. But even if you are saying it to their face, you probably, I don't know, I don't like that or respect that. So I saw that this person did that a lot, and
mm,
I couldn't get one. It's like, oh, I know you're saying stuff about me behind my back.
mm,
It's so it also become a trust issue.
mm.
But yeah, yeah. So like, oh, I like genuine people too. I
I
think
see.
that is so. There are some things about like there are like things non-negotiables, at least when I think about my friends. Like people I consider friends are not just like casual acquaintances that I really like, but like people I consider my friends who I would share intimate things with. You not being a genuine person is an automatic disqualifier, at least for me. So that's an incompatibility. But incompatibility not necessarily like, oh, we're different or we don't, get along in certain ways, I guess.
So it sounds like you're talking more about values. Is that right?
I mean, you could have similar values too, but like that one aspect of this person I just couldn't get over, and it's very different from the way that I think or live. So I mean, I guess that's an incompatibility, but not it's not like the way you think. I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
but because the way that we defined closeness, this was a person that you at one point were very compatible with, right? At least during a specific time period, because you got to a level of closeness that
Yeah. So this person I knew for
wasn't.
more than 10 years at least, like someone
Hmm.
I knew in high school, and we um knew all the way through our 20s, and then at one point, I don't know, you get to know this I got to know this person, and I'm sure they dislike me for certain reasons too, but and then you just grow apart. You dislike something, you grow apart, and then now it's sort of like it also like uh there was a boiling point. We did have sort of there was a moment, a catalyst, an argument that sort of initiated the drifting.
Mm.
So it wasn't a natural drifting apart. It was, yeah, there was definitely something
This
that,
was a falling out,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
actual falling out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right. So, how, you just weren't able to see that you were incompatible those first 10 years, or like did that person change? Like what how did this come about? The recognition that you guys are not compatible.
We were like casually close, and
Mm,
then we spent a lot of time together. And the more time we spent together, you unearth those things that
mm,
could easily go unnoticed in more casual like hangouts and social things. But like we would start working together on stuff, like doing stuff
yeah.
together, like common goals. And then when you work with somebody, like some people, I like. So here's another thing too. This person thought, oh, you can easily separate personal and business. I don't understand that, because if you don't like somebody on like say you do something with someone, say like a coworker, you
Yeah.
dislike everything about the way they work, and then you're like, oh, you know what? But after work, we're chill and cool, just because that's the way they. But that the way you work, the way you do stuff, I don't know. Like I don't understand how you can separate the two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, in a professional setting, we were very incompatible, and then it's like, oh, let's not even worry about it. That makes no sense to me. Like how, yeah, you're the same person that I had huge disagreements with, working on this project together, and now because the project is done, it's like, oh, let's not even worry about it. No, you're still that same person who I had all these issues with.
But
Yeah.
one could argue, if you remove the thing that causes these disagreements to happen, can't you still salvage some of that relationship? So, for example, for the first 10 years, when you guys weren't working on these projects together, you were fine. But if the catalyst to the drifting apart was because you guys were working together in these projects, doesn't simply removing those projects solve the issue?
Well, it wasn't the working together that was the issue. It was the sides that were seen while we were
Hmm.
working together. Like again, like this dude was just saying all these negative things about friends. I thought, these are they are his closest friends, and he's saying just like really negative stuff.
Hmm.
Like from a very like judgmental and kind of like hypocritical kind of way.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, man, like that's crazy. And I don't want to be friends with somebody like that. Even though I learned all that stuff through, a professional setting, Like we spent a lot of time together working on something together, and I saw all these different sides of this person. It wasn't their work ethic that bothered me. It was the kind of person they were while we were working together, in a close setting. It's not the job, but it's the intimacy. And through that intimacy, I learned, oh, this person is not really the kind of person I want to be friends with. And we actually, I think we made up, but
Oh, did you had a
yeah,
kind
it was
of
sort of like, oh,
oh,
you know,
interesting.
like we this happened, and we're both sorry about it, but we're not. Yeah, it wasn't like the start of mending our friendship. It was just sort of a amicable separation, and it happened naturally. This person went to do different things, and I went to go do different things,
Hmm.
and I don't feel bad about it, but I don't especially. Well, like I don't. Yeah, I mean they're doing their own thing, and I'm doing my own thing, and that's fine.
Yeah. So you don't think you'll ever get to the place, like in terms of intimacy with this person, before you guys started working together?
Actually, it's not just one person. It's actually a couple dudes I know
Yeah.
that through a working relationship. Actually, yes, I saw sides of them I wasn't very interested or fond of, and then there was like a moment where we had a fight, and then it's like, oh, I guess we're not gonna be friends anymore. And for me too, it's my bad because back then, if I had a negative moment or like a negative incident with somebody, I would because it would make me feel bad,
Hmm.
but I would completely throw that person away,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally, and physically, just to uh
Basically, you
yeah.
throw people into the trash. I understand.
Well, I would walk away.
I see. I see. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I would throw myself away, but um yeah, just so because negative interactions and negative incidents like that would make me feel bad. So once I had one like that, I'd be like, "Oh, I guess we're done. I never want to feel this way with you anymore." I'm just gonna completely throw this person away, mentally, physically, whatever.
Fascinating. I think there's a lot here that speaks to the. Honestly, it sounds like it speaks to some trauma that you have unresolved.
What's that thing? The numbers, the Enneagram. I'm the one where I have insecurity. And
Mm,
insecurity, not just like, oh, I feel ugly, but insecurity, like I don't feel secure. And one of those things is relationships.
mm.
If I feel like it's not um, anything that I don't feel prepared for, I'll throw away.
Wow.
Basically, something like
A
that.
good thing you're on the unplanned, unprepared, unpredictable
I don't even unclinging. Is that a
podcast.
word? But
But that makes sense because the moment you saw that friend was talking behind the backs of his other friends, you immediately said, "Oh, this friend is probably doing the same thing to me." So the secure relationship that I thought we had doesn't seem as secure anymore, and that's what really started making you uncomfortable, right?
probably. I mean, yeah, that I'm sure that's what it was. I
So again,
yeah.
I do think it says. I mean, sure, it says a lot about that person as well, but I think a lot of it has to do with who you are.
So a very bad and sick thing that I used to do that I try not to do is avoid negative feelings because that's just
Yeah.
crazy. But like people who hurt my feelings, yeah, I used to completely erase them because I never wanted to feel that way again.
Mm, but that's impossible to avoid.
Uh, yes, yes. I mean, it's all self-preservatory mechanisms. There are ways. There are ways. Not good, healthy ways. None of them are healthy ways.
No, yeah, sure. I guess there are ways to never break your legs skiing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
ski,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
But then you never get to experience skiing.
Exactly. So like if so real quick before it ends, You can't avoid all bad feelings without shutting off good feelings.
Yeah.
Avoiding any feeling, it robs you of all feelings. Anyway, thanks for listening to the undecided,
Are we done?
unexecuted. All right, give it them. Anyway, I just gotta press end. Thank you so much.